Time to find out
What Shane said
with Shane Manila.
Hey, everybody, what's up? It's been a while since we've spoken, at least on Shane Says. Been on a slight hiatus while I've done other things. Obviously, Manic and Chill still out there. I've been hitting the Saturday night mailbag with my dude Brandon, which that will be continuing some weeks with me, some weeks without. But this week, I wanted to get back to a Shane Says episode. And as you know, one of the things I love to do is just dig into historical data. Why? Because it's fun. Data is fun. Numbers are fun. Math is not fun, but data is fun. I like to look at what's happened in the past to give me an idea of what might happen in the future. And for this specific episode, what I wanted to look at is rookie running back production. And I wanted to look at specifically first year, well, hence rookie. So what I did is I went back to 2015 through 2023, pulled every running back that was drafted that had some type of stat. Now, that is a 9-year sample, which is a weird number, right? Initially, I was going to do 2015 through 2024, which would have been 10 years. But I decided as I was going through this, as I got further along, almost towards the end, that I also wanted to take a look at second-year stats for these running backs. So that's what I'll be doing next week or the week after, but shortly after. I have the data. I just need to dig into it and summarize it nicely into a nice little bow, neat little bow. So again, 186 running backs over the span of 2015 to 2023. It's a pretty significant sample size. Overall, there was about 200 running backs drafted during that period, but some of them have never played at all, or like I said, didn't have a stat. So 186 running backs that at least had a stat. First off, the very first thing I found, and I found this incredibly interesting because I'm a nerd, 9% of the running backs drafted in that time frame, 2015 to 2023, never played running back, never took a snap again at the position after their rookie season. You had some guys like Scott Matlock, Avery Williams, some other dudes. Some of those players were drafted as fullback defensive linemen, and I guess the teams decided they'd be better off with defensive linemen. But there was a good amount of players in there that just never played again, either because of injury or they were absolutely terrible in their rookie season and they got cut after that, which is pretty hard to do on a rookie contract, you would say. So yeah, 9% of these players never played again. And we'll come back to that because there's a reason that that's interesting to me. So like I said, 1 in 10 players are basically flameouts, completely useless. And that's spread out through the rounds, mostly later rounds, actually. Just looking at the players that it's all fifth rounders, although there was a Darius Geist thrown in there. But outside of Darius Geist, it was all fifth, sixth, and seventh rounders. So maybe, you shouldn't expect a lot from those guys. Anyway, but back to the story. So what I wanted to check again is how likely running backs were to hit certain thresholds based off their draft capital. So the first threshold I hit was 10 points per game. 10 points per game, we're looking at like an RB3, back end RB3, basically RB4, maybe a usable flex play. So what I found is 20%, 39 running backs total, during that period hit 10 points per game or more. So only 1 in 5. Now, obviously, that's going to break down differently by rounds, right? Correct. First rounders. So there were 14 first round draft picks, running backs during this period. And they were absolutely pretty much a lock to hit that 10 points per game mark. 86%, 12 of 14. So if you drafted a running back in the first round, you knew at a minimum they are giving you at least 10 points. That's why I said a minimum. The last time a running back didn't, and again, I didn't look at last year, last time a running back didn't prior to that hit that mark, that 10 points per game, was way back in 2018, and that was Rashad Penny. Rashad Penny. Some of us remember that name. But for the most part, like I said, 86% of the time a running back drafted in the first round of the NFL draft is going to give you at least 10 points in their rookie season. That ain't bad. Second round running backs, still pretty good bet. 13 of 20 of those running backs gave you at least 10 points per game. That's a 65% hit rate. Not bad. Third rounders, starts to drop here. And I didn't think it would drop this early, to be quite honest with you. I found this a little shocking. Shocking is a strong word. Whatever. I found it surprising. Third rounders, about 1 in 3 chance, 32% that they would give you 10 points per game. that's not a high bar. And we generally think as third round draft capital as being good draft capital for running backs, right? That's interesting, or at least instructive, informative, whatever word you want to use. It's not what I expected. I'll say that. I expected third round running backs to give me a little better hit rate on at least 10 points per game, which is, again, not a really super high bar. So the 4th through 6th rounders, they suck, is the technical term. We have a total of five running backs drafted in those rounds. 6% of the 4th rounders, 6% of the 5th rounders, and 3% of the 6th rounders, 6% of 4th rounders, 6% of 5th rounders, and 3% of 6th rounders. Any way you slice it up, there was a total of 5 running backs over a 9-year period drafted between the 4th and actually the 7th, because there was none that hit it, between the 4th and the 7th that gave you 10 points per game. Hey, Cam Scadaboo. Hey, Tootin. Hey, Giddens. Hey, a whole bunch of dudes. That doesn't make me feel really, really great. What's interesting, again, is there's virtually no difference between a 4th rounder and a 6th rounder. Again, it's 3%, 6%, but we're literally, like when we're doing raw numbers, we're talking 2 running backs versus 1 running back. You're just not getting production from those picks. 4th through 7th rounds, pretty much a wasteland. There you go. So 12 points per game, which is a little better. This is a solid-ish starter. This is someone that's back-end RB2, RB3, depending on the season. So first, let's go look at first rounders. Guess what? 86% of them. So every running back that gave you 10 points gave you at least 12 points that was drafted in the first round. Good job, guys. So 12 out of 14 of those dudes, 86% gave you at least 12 points per game. Again, supporting the supporting the notion that first round running backs are absolutely gold and they are absolutely someone you should invest in. Anyway, second rounders, it falls to 50%. Still valuable, right? It's a coin flip though. We had several running backs drafted in the second round. We'll go through the names later. So it's still a coin flip. 50% is actually good, I should say. I don't want to just leave. I know it's a coin flip because it's 50%, and that's literally the definition of coin flip. But I don't want to call it that. I mean, 50% hit rate is still pretty good, especially when you look at third rounders. Only 21% of the time do they give you a 12-point per game rookie season. That's not a lot. And again, third round draft capital, I don't want to keep harping on this, but third round draft capital is what we expect, players to be good. We expect third round draft capital to mean that a running back is going to be good in their rookie season. But that's not really what we see. 4th through 6th rounders. And again, it leaves out 7th rounders because they don't do anything. But 4th through 6th rounders, still a wasteland. 3% of these players ever score 12 points per game in a rookie season. Again, based off the running backs that I found from 2015 to 2023, 9-year sample, pretty big sample size. So I'd say it's a believable sample. So 4th through 6th rounders, again, suck. And there doesn't seem to be a difference between the 4th and the 6th round. I'll just look at the summary chart, and I'll share this in the comments if anyone wants to go look at the charts as well. But looking at 4th round picks, one player hit 12 points per game in their rookie season. One player in the 4th, 5th, and 6th. There's literally no difference between a 4th and a 6th rounder. Again, that's not what I expected. I did expect if you had 4th round draft capital that you're a better player, better running back than a player drafted in the 6th or 7th, but don't really seem to be that way. So 14th round, here we go. This is where, the players are getting good. This is where, you could get close to running back 1 territory. So overall, 19 running backs that were rookies, 19 total hit this mark. And guess what? A vast majority of them, at least a plurality, didn't say that word correctly. In my head, it sounded right, but I didn't get there. Didn't pull it off. That's unfortunate. Anyway, 64% of first round running backs will give you 14 points per game in their rookie season. Again, this is really good. This is what we draft first rounders for. Second rounders, this is where it really drops. Second rounders, dropped to 20%. So 4 out of the 20 running backs drafted were able to give you 14 points per game that were drafted in the second round. Guess what? Third rounders again falls down to 14%, which is actually not that far from second rounders. So third rounders had a chance to give you almost as good of a chance to give you 14 points per game as third rounders and second rounders had almost the same chance to give you 14 points per game. Fourth rounders gave you a 0% chance. Zero. So if 0% of any number is zero, by the way. So there was none that gave you at least 14 points per game during the 2015 through 2023 data set that I found. Fifth and sixth rounds, there was one in each round. And then seventh rounders, yeah, no, just not there. So then we get to the truly, like, this is where you get good, the elite tier, the our 16 points per game. And these are dudes that are basically running back ones, probably running back ones, depending on what the season looks like. So out of this, first rounders, 6 of them, 6 out of the 14 were able to give you 16 points per game. It's actually pretty good. That's 43%. That is really, really good. Like, first round running backs, again, I don't think I can stress this enough, are absolutely worth the price of admission. First round NFL drafted running backs are absolutely worth the price of admission for their rookie seasons. And I'll give you a slight preview for the second video in this set. Their second years, also really, really stellar. Anyway, second rounders, we've got a 15% hit rate getting to 16 points per game. And I think you've noticed, if you haven't, one of the themes of this is that as the points per game threshold gets higher, the gap between first round running backs and second round running backs really widens, right? There's less of a chance that the second round running backs are going to hit that compared to the first round running backs. Third rounders, excuse me, geez. 3 running backs, 11% were able to give you 16 points per game. Anything after the third round was an absolute wasteland. We've got a big fat 0. No running backs drafted at the fourth round or later hit 16 points per game. So there's even more eliteness, though, right? Let's get to the 18 points per game. Now we're cooking with freaking grease fire, right? Freaking grease fire. Barkley, Zeke, Fournette. Each of those dudes hit 18 points per game. 3 out of 14 drafted running backs in the first round, 21%. Second rounders gave you none. They gave you none. There was none. Third rounders, we had a couple of those. So 7% of the third rounders, there was Kamara and Hunt did that in their rookie seasons, who both had absolutely monster rookie years. So the 16 points per game and 18 points per game were filled by first, second, and third rounders. But again, first rounders are the ones that really, really made the hay, right? Those are the ones that if you drafted a rookie running back, you would want to draft one from the first round because those were most likely to hit every threshold: 10, 12, 14, 16, and 18. So what do we do with this, right? There's a couple things that we need to look at or need to contextualize. Again, first round running backs, Ashton Genty, Omarion Hampton, nothing to worry about. Absolutely not. And I would not fault you if you bought them or were trying to buy them and paying high. I would not fault you if you took them very early in a startup draft, to be quite honest with you. I saw Omarion Hampton go in the third round in a startup last week, and I thought it was a little perplexing. And then I looked at the data and I go, maybe not a bad idea. Look, he's got, I don't want to say a good chance. He's got a significant chance, probably overselling it. Both these guys have a great chance to give you 10, 12, 14 points per game, and they give you a good chance to hit 16 and 18%. Not bad at all. Second round draft picks, we have Quinshawn, Travion Henderson, and RJ Harvey. All these dudes look like they're going to be solid players, solid bets to give you high-end production at least, or at least that 12 to 14 points per game range, right? And that 12 to 14 points per game range. They hit 50% in the 12 points per game and then 20% in the 14 points per game. So it does drop at 14 points, but at least 12 points per game, which isn't bad for a rookie running back. And I don't want to spoil it. We'll get into it in the next video when I discuss year two. Year two does start to look good for them as well. Third rounders this year. We had my dude who I absolutely adore, but I'm a little worried for now, Caleb Johnson. Because again, when you look at the hit rates on rookie running backs, when we get to the 12 points per game range, we're already down to 21%. When we get to the 14 points per game range, we're already down to 14%. When we get to the 16 points per game, we're already down to 11%, and 18 points per game, we're all the way down at 7%. There is a very small chance that they are going to give you elite seasons. And even at the 10 points per game range, there's a 1 in 3 chance. There's only a 1 in 3 chance that they're going to give you 10 points per game. That makes me a little nervous. Not going to lie to you. In the fourth round, we have running backs that people love. We had Cam, what's that guy's name? Cam Scadaboo. We had Michelle Tootin. We had players drafted later in the draft that people really like Trevor Etienne, Woody Marks, Jarquez Hunter, Dylan Sansom. Take your pick. Anyone drafted after the fourth round, I'm telling you right now, I'm trying to move. If I can move them right now for what looks to be a decent package, they are gone. If I can flip right now Cam Scadaboo for a future second, probably going to do it. Michelle Tootin, gone. Obviously, Hunter, Marks, any of those dudes. Now, I know some people, they like risk, and risk is fun. So if you want to hold on to these running backs, right, and wait for the positive narrative to hit and drive their prices up, or at least their sales price up even more, I cannot fault you and don't think that that's a bad idea. That's fine, because you know what? We can almost guarantee that Scadaboo is going to get some positive buzz, and Tootin as well, because, well, Etienne, Travis, struggled last year. We know that Tyrone Tracy has fumbling issues. So there's definitely a path for those two to at least have positive narrative. But I'll say this, as soon as that narrative hits, I am absolutely out on them. So some key takeaways again. If you're looking for instant production, first round draft picks, gold. Second round draft picks, pretty good. Third round draft picks, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, not there, man. You're probably not going to find it. So I am personally jumping on Dynasty Daddy and looking to see just what type of trades are out there for Cam Scadaboo, what type of trades are out there for Tootin. And I'll be honest with you, I'm looking to see what kind of trades are out there for Caleb, because a 1 in 3 chance does not feel good to me. Again, first rounders are gold. Second rounders, pretty good. Third rounders, anything after that, it's absolutely a horror show. It is a bloodbath. So I appreciate everybody watching. That was just the first year of these running backs. I'll be taking a look at the second year running backs too. Again, I'll share the data with you. I know I threw a lot of numbers at you. If you want to just take something away, first round running backs, pay up for them. Second round running backs, I'm willing to also pay up for them. Third round running backs, man, if I can cash out on Caleb, and I love Caleb Johnson. If I can find a way to cash out on Caleb Johnson, I'm probably going to do it. Even if that means I got to add a little something to Caleb Johnson and to move up in running back tier, even if that's a rookie running back, which I know at the time that we were drafting, I was not there. I was saying, hey, I'll take any of these running backs that fall there. Well, now that I looked at the data, I don't know. I might add a little something to Caleb to try to get someone like Travion Henderson. Just saying. So appreciate everybody watching. I will see you next week or the week after, one of these weeks, and we'll talk about the second year of these running backs, because, right, it's not all about just the first year, right? Some players don't smash in their first year, but they improve in their second. So maybe just hold off on trading everyone. Again, unless you're just looking for instant production, then I'm getting rid of, or at least trying to move everyone from the third on. So appreciate everybody watching, and we will see you next week-ish. Bye.